It's very important to start our practice with right understanding what meditation is and what's not. Because most of the time, when we start practicing, we want to gain something or we want to get rid of something. And it doesn't allow us to stay present, to stay satisfied with what's happening in the body and the mind at the present moment. So that's why Vipassana meditation is not about focusing on any particular subject. It's about understanding what's going on in body and mind at the present moment. So in Vipassana meditation, our purpose is just to understand. Because if we have any amount of craving to gain something, this amount of craving is like what we call it, pendulum, yeah? It's like a pendulum. If you move it on this direction, or like let's say 45 degree of craving, it will go to the 45 degree of anger, to the opposite direction. So as much we want something, as more we anger when we don't get it. So, and mostly when we start practicing, we always want to get something. When we get it, we experience some relief, some kind of spikes of happiness. But when we don't get it, we get smashed into this suffering that we cannot get it. So that's why it's very important to get right ideas of what we are doing, to gain right thoughts. It will be a kind of a software that run our minds into the right direction of practicing. Whatever we observe in our practice is just an object. This is like very important concept. It's just an object. It's just an experiences. And these objects and experiences all have the same characteristics. They're all impermanent. And they're not you. What's important is the mind that absorbs it. These objects appears in the 6 sense doors: seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and thoughts. That's what we observe. Yeah? And these objects, don't cling to it. Don't try to change the objects. Don't try to make it more peaceful. Don't try to make it more calm. Look at the mind that absorbs these objects. Does this mind want to change something in the current experience? Does it want to get rid of something? That's what's important. If you can purify this intention of the mind, the meditation gives you a natural sense of calmness. And later on will lead to insights. Insights into 3 characteristics of existence: impermanence, suffering, and non-self. So that's why wherever you start meditation, ask yourself why you do it. No, why you don't do, why you want to do meditation? Anyone has an answer?
I started because I wanted to be peaceful,
Mm-hmm.
and now I just want to see why I want
to. Mm-hmm. So now it's more interest, you want to explore something, you want to find something, yes? Is there any desire to get a peace in your practice still?
It is there, but now I know that I'm lost.
Mm.
So the reason I came here was impermanent. So now I just need to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because to gain peace, normally when we concentrate, we can gain the peace. Yeah, so you can just like like when I was a kid, I was playing with concentrating on each and every finger. So I just like concentrating, for example, on this finger, like a fully concentrate, and then till all fingers disappear, only one finger remain. And then I go to the next finger, and it disappear, and move it. So you like train yourself like a fully concentrate, and you disappear from the world for a while. You're peaceful for a while. But when you come back from this concentration, you come back to the same old roots, to the same old causes that lead you to suffering. So that's why it's better to find some interest into exploring what's going on. Now, who suffer in meditation? Who suffer in meditation? Whoa, nice, nice, nice. What's your suffering?
Expectations.
Expectations. How it works for you?
Like ideas of the mind of the future
Mm-hmm.
coming up in the present when it's not getting.
All right. All right. How you observe it?
How I do observe it
Yes.
during meditation.
Yes.
My mind is kind of disappointed from last happenings.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind became one of my mind, but the healing foundation has been set.
Mm-hmm.
Satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the future, I get kind of anxiety, which is also the body foundation.
Yes.
Getting heartbeats.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. So when it happens, you observe it, but it still exists, isn't it? Yeah. You know why? You want to get rid of it. So now, when you find it out that you do it again and again, you find feelings, you find thoughts. It's a kind of like, yes, that thing is here. Like a suffering is here. I'm observing it. Like what's wrong? Yeah. Look at your attitude, and you will figure out like, I don't want it. I want to get rid of it. And now switch your attention to observe this attitude. Don't need to pay attention to feelings. Don't need to pay attention to mind. Observe this attitude. It's the next step.
So observing the attachment to it.
To attachment to, most likely it's a desire to get rid of unpleasantness. You see, you have this sensation, you have these feelings, and you don't like it, and you kind of like want to push it away. This force creates a lot of pressure. It's like, it's the same with this pendulum. Yeah. So if you want something, you like push it from the side of wanting. If you don't want something, you push it from the side of don't wanting, and this creates this movement, stronger and stronger. So that's why wherever you have some kind of problem with meditation, like some challenges, something wrong, in my meditation. Okay, look inside. What do you want to get rid of some experiences, or you want to gain some experiences? Huh? Who else has a problem? Challenges? Huh? Want to share?
I think I still want vision.
All right.
Still disliking the chaos that happens when a lot of thinking comes.
Okay.
I'm disliking that I'm disliking.
Have you been able to observe the desire behind what's happening with you?
Sometimes I manage to see the one thing.
All right. So, and what's happening when you observe it? So you know the way, no?
It dissolves. If I see the one thing.
So you see, the technique works perfectly if we apply it. But the problem is our defilements, this desire and anger. It's like, it's all around. It's always here. Imagine you have a superpower to hold the water, like a Moses, Yeah, and you need constantly to use this power to hold it. The same with these defilements, anger and greed, you hold it all the time. But as soon, as you just like skip one moment, water is already here. So that's why we need this constant awareness during the day, moment to moment, whatever you're doing. We shouldn't create this space for defilements to come. You see, you know the way. If you just continue to do it, that's it. There is no space for defilement. But as soon as you kind of like, oh, okay, I got it. They come. Sometimes you're practicing and you are getting to the high stages of mindfulness when mindfulness works just by itself. You don't need to do anything. It's just a nature. Yeah. And at this moment you can think, all right, I got it. Everything is fine. Yeah. But our mind works the way it copy past, control C, control V, copy past our present experience into the future. So wherever we experience right now, mind kind of try to predict what will happen next. And any good experiences that you have is kind of, next moment will be like that. So, and you're practicing with this high level of mindfulness, and this level of mindfulness start to reduce, slowly. But in your imagination, you're kind of like go to the right direction. And at some point, your mindfulness gone. You have only desire to have this state of mind. And you are stuck. Just like several weeks ago, you was enlightened somehow, and now you are lost. How happens? Because you lost this moment of awareness of your defilements. It's just like, several moments, like, oh, nice, good things. And it's happened, automatically. It's not something that I can explain you right now and you just like, okay, I got it. You need to go through this cycle again and again, till through your experience you understand how you by yourself made these mistakes. Yeah, and these mistakes is not like a mistakes that like a deadly mistakes. No, this is mistakes that we need to make to learn. Without these mistakes, it's just impossible to learn. I don't know any ways how you can learn without mistakes. It's like when you're a toddler, when you are walking, and it's impossible, not to fall while you start walking. Mistakes? No, it's not mistakes. It's lessons. Huh? So, anyone else has the challenges? Yes.
So you said I was struggling with doubting.
Doubting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought also like I'm not getting it or.
All right.
So, but then I also struggle with like kind of getting bored.
Okay.
So the thought comes, I'm hearing and then I'm just waiting. What next is nothing. So then I try and play with like the sound I hear.
All right.
While I'm walking, I would want to make it into a game, like So now I'm like, I got the mind now again.
All right. Tell me, what's better when there is a boredom or where is this like a joy? Obvious, yeah. We choose objects. And when we make this choice, we create a problem for ourselves. Now we're clinging to it. You see, the mind that observe the boredom don't feel boredom. There is a boredom and the mind that absorb it. This mind free from boredom. What do you need to be aware of the present moment? Do you aware that you are sitting? I mean, right now. Okay? So when you became aware? Okay. How much effort do you need to be aware? Nothing. You're just aware. You just need to remind yourself to be aware. So it's not the matter of willpower. It's not the matter of concentration. It's a matter of just remind yourself, okay, what's mind doing at this moment? What's body is doing? What's happening? And with these reminders, you just come back to this natural state. What's happening now? This is like a suchness of things. You see, it's easy. Yeah? The hard thing is to create a habit out of these simple actions. If you repeat it again and again, you make it habit. And then it works automatically. All right? This is the same like, what's better, thinking or not thinking? Neither, yeah. But you know, like, but without thinking is better, yeah. That's how, you see, we make this choice almost automatically. That's why we need to remember that whatever objects we observe is just a nature. Thoughts is a nature, sensation is a nature, feeling is a nature, emotion is a nature. And when you observe it as a nature, you're not trying to push it away, you know, or hold it. Let's say, okay, we have this weather, you know, who is going to change it? Who is going to fight with this weather? Government. Okay, we will find a way to deal with them as well. Yeah. So the same approach should be to whatever objects you observe. It's just a nature. Just a nature. Remind yourself about it. As soon as you trapped into I am bored, that's it. You already associated with that. If there is a boredom, the nature, and there is a mind that absorbing this boredom, what's wrong? Nothing. You just train yourself. And if you find, you know, this rejection, this kind of like a disliking of it, you know, look at the disliking now. Actually, you know, when you do mindfulness in the right way, it's always fun. It's always interesting because always something going on. And this something is reflect what you are, who you are. So each right step in the right way of mindfulness bring you some discovery about yourself. So it's never boring.
What does just a nature mean? Does that mean just a phenomenon, just like an?
It's like, you know, it's like a physics, you know, it's just the way they are, yeah. So you're not fighting with gravity, yeah. It's just like a gravity. You accept it, you know. You're not kind of like a disappointed that you have only two hands, yeah. Like, why nature is so cruel, yeah. No, you kind of like it's obvious, yes, to hand, but why we so obsessed with thoughts? Like, these thoughts is wrong, you know, this is right, I want to have this, I don't want. Why? Because we associate ourselves with these thoughts. If you kind of like chill a little bit and see, oh, it's just a nature, okay, just observe it, everything will be fine. Anyone else has a struggle with meditation? Suffering? Yes?
Yesterday I was really focused and really into it, and like really observing the breath and going one after the other, like in a really nice chain. It was one of the best sessions, and suddenly I heard a ringing bell, like from but it never ended.
Mm-hmm.
It ended with the meditation, so I had this for 10 minutes. There was always a.
Mm-hmm. You mean in your mind ringing bell?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty sure. Like it's like the ending of when you hit it.
Yes.
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 I don't know a bell which is only 10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So,
can you say several words about your experience that you say like a good experience? You know, what does mean good experience?
so I've been using my breath as an anchor and really being in the moment, going from one experience to the other, and observing it without categorizing it into one of the categories, liking or disliking or whatever. And I was really in Zen, I would say. And then suddenly this sound started.
It's all right. Sometimes this phenomena starts when your concentration level increase. Called nimitta. It's a kind of hallucination. Like it could be visual, it could be audio. Yeah, and it started like a whatsoever, you know. Sometimes like a voices. Now, once I was meditating, you know, and like it's like a far away in the forest, you know, and like suddenly, Mike, Mike. You know, like at first I opened my eyes, like, who the heck is here? And then you're like, okay, got it, you know. Hello, hallucinations. Yeah. So, and just like close eyes and absorb it, you know. When it came again, you know, I heard it, so I absorbed the the hearing and observe the fear that arises, and then it's gone. So the same with this, like a hearing. So you just observe what it is. Maybe some wariness appears. Yeah, like what's going on? Yeah. So observe the wariness. So everything is fine. Yes. So till it not speaks with you, it's okay.
I mean, if there would have been voices, I don't know, probably paranoia would have kicked in there.
No, if you understand that it's just phenomena, because like how you understand that you are thinking, for example.
I mean, it's nature, no?
No, I mean, like, how do you understand that you are thinking?
I don't know.
Do you think? It's funny, yeah. Like we think like all day long, but when we try to understand, how do I understand that I'm thinking? We don't know.
I mean, we distinguish if it's actually in the outside world or inside or within us, no? So this is thinking, right? So if it doesn't exist, and I see it, like if I close my eyes and being in meditation, and for example, I also had it that motorcycle drives by and then a boat appears, then I know that I think that it's not matching the environment.
Yes, you are correct. It's a visual things. Yeah, sometimes visual things appears. Yes, pictures, movies, and all this stuff. And the second thing is voices. You talk to yourself.
Of course, yeah. But
This voice.
I recently asked, how does your inner voice sound? And I never analyzed it. Like, is it my voice? Is somebody else talking to me all the time since I did?
You normally.
I don't know. I cannot really analyze it, so it's really interesting. But I hear the voice, of course.
Yes. So when you practicing meditation and you observe your thoughts, you can observe this speaking part, the inner voice. Sometimes this is like you feeling that it's you are speaking with yourself. Sometimes you're speaking that someone's speaking to yourself. Hallucination? Yeah, it's kind of like a control hallucination, that we have an actor that hallucinates. The actor is me, till you have like a I am hallucinating, I am thinking, everything is fine. But when this disconnection between this thinking and the actor appears, okay, paranoia. Hello, paranoia. So that's why in our meditation we need to kind of find this grounding understanding of phenomena. It's all just body and mind. No ghosts, no like magic balls and all this stuff, just body and mind. So wherever it happens, you can just, okay, I can just absorb it. It's just body and mind. You can chill with it.
You said you have to observe your attitude.
Yes.
How should we observe an attitude?
Okay, so for example, there is feelings, the feeling that, let's say unpleasant feelings, yes? So you can observe unpleasant feelings, yes? Do you know that you don't want this feeling, you want to get rid of it? This is it.
So just unpleasant.
No, just unpleasant. Unpleasant is one thing. Want to get rid of it is another thing.
But I'm confused, okay, I guess.
It's like yes. So try to do like this, everyone. Do you feel your right hand or left hand? Both. All right. Can you feel it differently, like separately right and separately left? All right. So at the moment when there is a feelings here, there is always knowing mind that there is a feelings. One more time, yeah. As soon as there is a sensations here, there is knowing mind that there is a sensations. Yeah? And there is always one more mind that absorbs these sensations. that we call mindfulness. This mind, when touching appears, yeah, the knowing mind, it appears immediately, instantaneously. It's a nature. But the mind that absorbs it, we need to develop it. That we call mindfulness. Yeah? And mindfulness by itself is not enough for our practice. To be mindful, to just absorb it, is not enough to gain wisdom. We need to gain right understanding. Because if you absorb these things and you want to get rid of it, you don't understand that it's just a nature, it's just thoughts, nothing special. But if you feel this like, okay, it's my thoughts, and you absorb it, you can just like spin it again and again, create more unpleasant feelings. Because you see, there is a feelings, there is a thoughts, unpleasant feelings, and you want to get rid of it. And this desire to get rid of it create more unpleasant feelings. As more you want to get rid of it, as more unpleasant feelings appears. Yeah. So that's why sometimes when we kind of like, okay, I'm mindful, but like, why I still suffer? It means there is a mindfulness without wisdom. We need to bring these things together. Mindfulness and wisdom should be always together, and that's how we develop our practice.
So basically, the goal is like in the second stage to analyze, or not to analyze, to observe that thinker or the voice in your head which is telling you, okay, this is wrong, or I don't like this. So looking for the thinker.
So if you are looking for the thinker, yeah, there is someone who is looking for the thinker, no? Don't need to do anything. This is the instruction for meditation, do nothing. Do nothing. And see what appears in your six sense doors, in seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and thinking. Huh? So when you start practicing, you start with the objects that you're observing, like what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're sensing. But when your practice develops, you start to notice the mind that absorbs the experience. There is an experience, this object, and there is mind that absorbs these experiences. And you learn how to switch, not to stay with the object, but stay with this mind. Stay with the mind that absorb. You see, all the objects, seeing, hearing, smelling, in order to get to the mind, is go through the mind doors. If you stay in the mind doors, you don't need to do anything. All the objects just go through it. You just rest. You just rest in this watchful state and just observe what's happening. Wherever you are practicing and you find some tension in your body and tension in your mind, something wrong with your practice, something wrong with the attitude. Mindfulness is always give you, this like a cooling down experience, relaxation, happiness. Huh? So attitude is very important. Kind of like a basics, foundation of our practice. It's a foundation that is good at the beginning and good at the end. Yeah, so you cannot like throw away this foundation after sometimes. It's not something that you can master after several years and just like, okay, I know how to do it. It's like what Sasha explained. Yeah, so sometimes you can catch the moment and you are free. Yeah, but if you're not continue to do it, you come back. Huh? That's why in our practice, we come to retreats, and we go to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like steps of our development. But then after retreat, we stop practicing, and we just like 4, 3, 2, 1, yeah. Again to retreat, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like from 1 to 5, from 1 to 5, yeah. What we need to develop this habits of absorbing body and mind at the present moment in your daily activities. And if you develop it, you can go 5, 6, 7, and further. Without daily observation, without these habits of seeing what's happening now, further development is impossible.
So is there any from your side besides practicing to implement it in daily life? So that's the aim, right? So you want to master the moment. It's not about any other time.
Yes.
Past or the future.
Yes.
It's also not about achieving the goal, because you achieve it right now if you achieve it.
All right.
So what would you recommend besides sitting for, like, I don't know, many people will be working in their normal lives 8 hours a day,
Yes.
and yeah, to like enforce that more into the day, besides taking half an hour there and half an hour there to just sit and watch.
All right. So now you're listening me, yes? Are you aware that you are listening?
Yeah.
Does it takes you a lot of energy to be aware that you are listening?
No.
So
It
what?
takes concentration.
That's the problem. You need to. Okay. Let's talk about the sitting. Sitting is easier. Are you aware that the body is sitting?
Sometimes.
I mean, right now. Does it require concentration to be aware of it?
No, but maybe practice.
You see, concentration is kind of like a holding. You kind of like a bring awareness and hold it. You don't need to hold it. You just need to remind yourself. And this is the habit we need. And to be able to build this habit, we need to build interest in the practice. How to build interest in the practice? Ask yourself some question like, okay, like what was your last thought when you fall asleep yesterday? Do you remember?
I was thinking about seeing my girlfriend again.
Uh-huh. And what was your first thought when you wake up?
I'm tired. I don't want to wake up at 4:45.
Okay, cool one. Yes. So we need to develop these habits to be aware through the time you wake up to the time you fall asleep. You know, even if you are falling asleep, you know, the moment when you are falling asleep, you know, the state of mind of a deep sleep, it's similar to moment of death, when our mind kind of like a blind, or like kinda, you know, it's kind of exist and not exist, you know, something like that.
But how can you know that? Somebody dead tell you, or?
So when you fall asleep, you can try to fall asleep with this attitude that you're going to die, and experience it. Because you know, like when you are at the stage between let's say reality and sleep, your mind take over everything. You know, like all your senses is kind of like shut down, and it's all go to mind, and it's easy to absorb what's going on in the mind, and you can get some interesting discovery there. And later on, you know, you can just see, okay, like when you enter the door, what's enter first, your head or your feet? What shoe you wear first, right or left? Oh.
So like reality checks.
Yes. All the time you kind of like see what's going on.